What is going on YouTube? Welcome to today's trade recap. Today is January 26, 2026. I took one trade today. It was a dub. Ended up making about $8,560. However, these are just evaluations. It was an evaluation trade. So really didn't make anything on my XFAs. However, let's get right into it. I'm going to go over today's and then we'll do Fridays after we go over today's recap. Real quick before we get into it, 40% off any eval valid to March 1st at 5 p.m. Eastern. Limit 5 per trader. After you go over the 5, then it is back down to 30%. Code LoeGpa, link in the description. Anyways, coming into this morning, I was leaning a lot more bullish than I was bearish. Overnight, as you can see, daily, we ended up coming down, hitting the daily for value gap. Damn, price ended up ripping all day today. Ended up hitting the daily for value gap. We also came down, slipped out 4-hour intermediate lows down here. Whatever. Right before market open, we ended up inversing this 1-hour bearish gap. Right, bearish gap, get inversed with the 8 a.m. candle. From here, I'm like, okay, cool. Leaning bullish, market open. I want to see some form of manipulation lower. What do we have lower? We have these 15-minute intermediate lows. We also had a 30-minute for value gap. We also had a couple 5 minutes resting beneath us. We had this 5-minute right here. Or no, just kidding. That was already failed. We had this 5-minute and this 5-minute down here. So I wanted to see some form of manipulation lower at market open, come down, hit those, and then we can see a rejection. This is what ended up happening. Bank time, ended up creating a SMT on the lows. Looked really, really solid. And there was a 30-second inversion in here. Kind of got a late entry. My entry point was somewhere like right up here. Stop loss was at the body, and I ended up holding all the way to this high up here. Let's go ahead and see how this plays out. So most of you guys probably went break even. On my any XFA account, I would have went break even as well. Don't blame me, guys. 110%. However, I ended up holding. I was on these evals. Didn't really care if I lose. Didn't really care if I won. Just trying to pass them as quick as possible. So ended up taking that. That was about a 1-to-1 play. And then other than that, I was like, okay, well, maybe I can get my $1,500, right? Let's try to make $500 more. So I was still in the market, whatever, still looking. We ended up creating this 5-minute. I was like, awesome. Didn't really care about this high. I was like, I more so wanted previous day high. So I was like, cool. Let's see a retracement down into here. Do we end up getting that? Nope, we edged it, and then we continued higher and higher and higher. So I was like, okay, cool. As long as we don't take out this draw higher, I'm perfectly fine just looking for a continuation model, right? Still kind of chopping around. What are we doing? We're still kind of chopping around. Don't really do much, right? At this point in time, we have this 5-minute for value gap created. We have another 5-minute. I don't know if the 15-minute was created just yet. It looks like the 15-minute was created at 10 o'clock. So let's see where we're at. 9:55. We ended up coming down and taking out this draw, which I was kind of fine with. We still had this 5-minute lower. We had this 15-minute open up. So I was like, cool. We still had draws higher if we come to the higher time frame. We had these highs up here, which I don't know if they ended up getting taken out or not. But we had these highs up here, and then I was fine with targeting these highs as well. There was a unfilled 15-minute gap in here. Let's go down to the 15-minute. It was somewhere over here to the left. Yeah, right here. And we had this unfilled 15-minute gap. So I was like, cool. We still have targets higher. I'm perfectly fine with taking a continuation long. Let's go ahead and see how this plays out. 15-minute opens up. I'm like, cool. We might get a 10 a.m. open low. This is looking good. This is looking good. Okay, kind of chopping around, getting us the AMD model, building a whole bunch of LR. Create fucking equal lows at the 15-minute. Are we dead us? If we had one tick lower, a half a tick lower. Actually, I'm going to keep that on there for tomorrow because that's going to be a nice draw on liquidity for tomorrow if we end up getting some form of rejection higher. But we ended up getting a nice 1-minute inversion. LR higher. Could go break even at this internal high up here. And you can either aim for a 1-to-2. You can aim for a 1-to-1, which is about this internal high, just over it. Or you can aim just for this unfilled for value gap. Let's go ahead and see how this plays out. I don't remember how this played out, but I think it ended up coming down and smacking everything. Wow, you would have sat in this trade for a fucking while. Looks like it would have been a break-even trade. I got off the charts after we edged it and just fucking ended up ripping up. After like this 10-17 candle, I just got off the charts. It looks like this would have been a break-even. Kind of edged it, created relative equal highs, and then, yeah, we got a rejection higher. Stopped us out directly at break even. If I was to enter that trade, didn't enter that trade. Other than that, that was really all I saw today. There was no mechs. I did want some form of shorts down lower towards here, and I believe there was a 5-minute continuation somewhere. Where was it? was right here. So there was a 5-minute continuation. This didn't look too bad. However, this is more like a discretionary play. I wanted to see this 5-minute get inverted and then a tap into a 5-minute. We ended up creating, where is it? This fucking crazy ass wick right here kind of fucked up the entire narrative for me because we ended up creating a hella small 5-minute. Now I know the size of the gap doesn't really matter, but in this case scenario, I wanted it to be a decent 5-minute gap. We just easily come and tap into it and then reject it. It was kind of more of like a discretionary play if you took this. Didn't really look too good just because we were so bullish on the day. But the draw was pretty nice, right? We did have equal lows at the unfilled 15 minutes. So if you guys did take this, I wouldn't be too mad. I believe it was a 1-minute inversion that ended up happening. Did that end up getting inversed on? Yeah, so this is what the trade idea would have looked like. You would have entered off this inversion. Stops like somewhere like right here. Trade idea down here. Now did our break even point? Yeah. So we would have been, this would have been a break even trade as well. We would have been break even at this internal low right here, which I believe were 5-minute intermediate lows. And let's just go ahead and see how the rest of this played out. Straight to your stop loss. Yeah. So this would have been a break even trade as well. Like I said, this wasn't that bad. It would have been a little bit better if we took out the draw first and then maybe retrace into 5-minute. But since we created relatively good highs, didn't really like it. Wasn't the most A+, but it wasn't bad looking at either, especially if you went break even right here. I wouldn't be mad if you took that. Other than that, I think that was pretty much fucking it for today. We just ended up pumping, and we did not dump at all. Yeah, it looks like we're continuously pumping, and this is the live market right now. So we're kind of just chopping up, leaving a whole bunch of LR either for the PM session or tomorrow. So tomorrow could be good. Could be looking good for shorts if we get the right narrative. I really do like this draw right here. This unfilled 15-minute gap with equal lows. That is a super nice draw for tomorrow. So that's what I'll be looking for. With that being said, let's jump into Friday's price action. All right, so jumping into Friday, let's go to the 30-minute. Let's just mark out open real quick. What the hell is going on Friday, right? Come into the morning, what do we have? We have previous day high above unswept. We have previous day low below unswept. Okay, we're kind of inside of this like hourly gap, whatever, hourly bearish gap. But overall, I'm leaning more bullish. We inversed this new week opening gap to the left of us on the 1 hour. We inversed it on the 4 hour as well. So cool. Don't really see anything on the 4 hour. What do we have? We have stacked highs above. We have an unfilled 4 hour maybe right here that we can go ahead and target as well. Right? Whatever the case may be. So what I want to see is just manipulation lower, right? What are we doing? We're accumulating on the 4 hour. So if we get manipulation lower, awesome. We go ahead and look for longs, just follow the overall trend that we see. Or if we get manipulation higher at market open, so that's previous day high, maybe tapping this 4 hour, we can go ahead and look for shorts down towards these relative equal lows down here, okay? So there was, I believe, a short setup right here at market open that ended up failing. And I don't know if any of you guys took this or not, but we did come and manipulate higher. We didn't take out this significant draw, which was these, or this high inside of this fair value gap, but we did take out these highs right here. And we created an SMT off these highs. SMT didn't really mean much. It wasn't inside of a fair value gap, but you guys might have took this, so I do want to go over it real quick. However, what do we have beneath us, right? So now we have SMT right here. It would have looked a lot better. Maybe we came and swept out these highs, but now we have relative equal highs, okay? Let's go like this. We have relative equal highs right here. Awesome. What do we also have down here? We also have an SMT already with this, okay? So if you guys went ahead and took this 1 minute short, that's perfectly fine, but you would have had to go quick break even, maybe somewhere right here, right? We're inside the hourly gap, come up, create an SMT, right? We get an instant V-shaped recovery down, 1 minute inversion. There might have been a 2 minute inversion as well. Let's take a look on the 2 minute. No 2 minute, which means there was no 3 minute, right? So you either go break even at this unfilled 2 minute gap, or you go break even at the internal lows, okay? And it looks like, off rip, that if you would have entered off this candle, the 2 minute would have already been filled. So overall, this trade does not look like a good idea. If you guys don't care about the 2 minute inversion or just waiting for the first 1 minute, okay, your trade idea could look something like this. Maybe your stops are up here at the body. Take profit down at these relative equal lows down here, whatever the case may be, but you do have to go break even at least at this 922 low on the 1 minute. Right, here we go. Let's go ahead and see how this plays out. What ends up happening? Come down, create another SMT. Okay, and then what do? We end up continuing higher. Ended up stopping you out at break even. So overall, not the best of trades. So at this point in time, we don't really have a higher time frame narrative. So what am I doing? well, what is price doing, right? We're still chopping. We're still going sideways. We don't really have a narrative. So at this point in time, I'm either waiting for a continuation lower, okay, or a continuation higher. I'm just waiting for a continuation or a condition to open up. Let's go ahead and see what price is doing. Okay, boom. Now we have obvious displacement higher. Awesome. We're now inside of this premium 5-minute gap. Keep that in mind, a premium 5-minute gap. What ends up getting created, right? We have a whole bunch of LR, and then what do we get? Well, we get a 1-minute inversion back to the upside. Now, I know you guys already know why this fucking trade failed. Okay. I already know why you guys know. Why did this trade fail? Look how fucking premium it is. Now, 90% of you probably knew. If you didn't, I'm not going to call you guys retarded because everything's a learning lesson. But take a look at this, right? Either stops at the body right here, stops at the wick, wherever you want, wherever you feel comfortable with. Same for a 1-to-1, right? 1-to-1's right here, or you can go to this draw, which, what is that? These highs over here, previous day high. Okay? Go break even at the internal high. Whatever. Now, I know you guys might have took this, and it was more of like a quote-unquote discretionary trade. But we were just so fucking premium. We generated LR, but I wanted to see some form of manipulation lower, at least into this discounted 5-minute right here. Now, if we would have got it into this discounted 5-minute, awesome. Beautiful. Exactly what I want to see. What time does this 15-minute gap end up opening up? This 15-minute gap ends up opening up at 10:30. We did have a 15-minute gap right here as well, resting where this other 5-minute was. So I really wanted to see this 15-minute and this 5-minute get hit. And we just didn't end up doing that. After this first trade failed, I was like, cool, I'm still down to take longs. We're continuing to generate LR. What ends up happening? Well, we just end up getting a fucking diddler up. Nothing ends up happening. Now we're inside or about to hit this unfilled 4 hours. So I was like, okay, if we can edge it, I'm giving opportunity one more time. If we can edge it, come down into this 5-minute, we can go ahead and try to target that. Right here's the entry point to the 5-minute. And this was like really the last trade of the day. This wasn't even an A+ setup. It would have been more so like A-B. But let's go ahead and see how this plays out. Don't end up hitting the 5-minute, and we just come and take out this 4-hour bearish value gap. So overall, nothing on the day. That short at market open didn't look too bad, but it would have had to been a quick break even, especially since there was an SMT at these higher time frame lows down here. And overall, I don't know. I'd like to see at least EQ of the range get hit, or not even like we don't even see half. We don't have to see EQ get hit, but at least a fair value gap at or near equilibrium would be nice. Just like I said, that one was just way too premium. So that is what happened Friday. Didn't end up trading Friday. I was also on an airplane. Wi-Fi was dog shit. So it is what it is. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about anything I went over, please leave them in the comments. Like I said, 40% off Lucid Trades right now. You guys can get 5 accounts up to 40% off with my code. Link in the description. After the 5, it's back to 30%. Free Discord. Link in the description as well. Thank you guys for 400 subscribers. I really appreciate it, and I'll see y'all in the next one.